did, however, I did set it up in Sweden. No, actually, I had a company also in Italy with a. So I did that too, and that's based on the first time. The second time, I decided to set it up in Sweden. So I had. Yes. And as I had a small company with a friend of mine, an Italian friend. We started an e-commerce, so we were importing Swedish clogs to Italy, and that was a great learning. We were, that's a huge success now, and I can just see if we continued. But that wasn't my path. But that was previous. But when I decided to start 360 entrepreneurship, I still lived in Italy, but I set it up in Sweden because it's so much, it's easier and it's cheaper. Yes.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, I was in Italy many years, and you're right. I didn't know the language. I did some, studies at home, and I thought, well, hey, how difficult can it be? I mean, in 3 months I'm fluent, right?
I love that attitude. Isn't that just, I can do anything?
It wasn't that easy, but what of course I had some, Italian friends, and you really, really have to force yourself, because it's kind of a regression. Like when you're a kid, you understand, you learn the language, you understand things, but when they ask you something, you can't actually respond to the question because you don't know what to say. And I mean, just also having, get the electricity in your house, understand 11 pages of rental contract, getting internet, and it was I also understood how it is to be a foreigner in a strange country. I mean, I must say, its advantages of being Sweden. I mean, I'm very lucky because I'm born with a good passport. Very often, the doors are open, but if people don't see you, I mean, you're a foreigner, you can't express yourself, and, they actually, hang up on you, and it's difficult. So that was a good learning as well. But I studied. I also had an Italian boyfriend, which helped. He didn't speak English, and I had the TV on all the time, so you hear the language. And now I'm fluent. I love, to speak Italian, but it was a long, it was a long way. And I also, I was in deep fear many times because, oh my God, I'm going to support myself. And the funny thing was that while I was in Italy, I had a couple of actually job offers in Sweden, so I could easily have gone back and lived, kind of a comfortable life. I didn't do that, and I'd never even thought of it. But there've been times when I was thinking, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Why? And I know now that it was a challenge. It was a personal, I wanted to challenge myself. I needed to do this, and I needed to find out that I could, make it.
That you could do it.
And I could do it. And now I feel like, having done that, having that experience in Italy, I can, do anything.
Isn't that amazing? Putting yourself to a test like that and being driven to do that. Yeah. It's just such an amazing experience for the rest of your life, because it's like you say, now you can do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, when, it gets really tough.
Yeah.
Then I don't panic, because that's when I pull myself together. It's like, okay, Anna, now it's serious. What do you do? What's your next step? What do you do? And I mean, like I said, it wasn't an option going back to Sweden, a comfortable life. But it's also true that I have my family here. I have a, wonderful sister. So there has always been, a plan B for me. I knew that if something really bad would happen to me, and still do, they're there for me. And of course, that's a, foundation that not everybody has, and I'm really grateful.
No, that's very true. And sometimes we don't realize either exactly how much support we do have when we need it, because sometimes we tend to actually be very loath to ask for help, to ask for support. And sometimes I found this in my own experience. Sometimes when you allow yourself, you give yourself permission to ask, you find that you don't have to.
Yes.
The times that I've said, okay, right now, I really don't, I need help, I'm going to do this, I'm going to ask this person, and then something happens. And, it's almost like, you look around and you think, oh, right, okay. And you actually didn't need to take the step, but you were fully prepared to do it. Fully prepared to do it. And the times I've worked with people, I've had friends too who've had their own businesses, small businesses, and it's been really tough, and they're at the end, they don't know how they're going to make ends meet, there's no money coming in. Okay, I'm going to dust off my CV, my resume, and I'm going to apply for a job. The next day, work comes in.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen that too. And I think, Helen, because it's actually we doing it. I do a similar thing. Sometimes if I have, worry, something, I just don't know how to, to work it. So I go to bed in the evening and so I do this kind of, ritual. I kind of, put the question out there, what I call, universe. Some other person would, say that, I pray to God, but for me, it's kind of a universal thing. And I just put it out there and I ask for, guidance, and that will come without, pressure. I just put it out there, and then I kind of put it to rest. And so many times, like you said, the answer, it comes to me, maybe not the day after, but when it comes, then it's just like, oh gosh, yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's also something about, trust, and we need to.
Yeah, it is, and having that consciousness and actually going within, because when you do that, you're going within yourself. Your inner power, the essence of you is asking, and it's taking it out to the wider universe. It comes from the very core of you.
Yeah, and you said it in the beginning of this show. All the answers are within, and it might find, simple or easy, but it's there. Sometimes it's not easy to find, but they're there. And if if you're conscious, if you're listening to yourself, then you find it there.
And it's so nice, you're saying that you were saying that the universe sends messages. We get the messages, and they start out as fairly light, small little messages that maybe we don't pick up, and when we don't pick up on them, the messages get louder and louder and louder until one day
it's like, hey, okay, I got it, I get it.
It's a very big message. Yeah. You can't miss it, and that is how it works.
For that, well, because sometimes say, oh, why did that happen? Oh, bugger. But we're grateful for this lesson because there's a learning, and it's just pointing us in another direction.
Yeah, everything is learning. This is I've learned that over the years, that everything that happens is learning in one way or another.